Big breaking news. A shelter-in-place order has been issued for a major toxic chemical spill. And this is very suspicious, this spill. This toxic chemical should not have been transported in this type of vehicle. If you look it up, they are not transported in normal semi-tractor trailers. So this is very suspicious, and also the chemical that was being transported is extremely explosive and is also actually used to create nitroglycerin or dynamite. All right, so this is all, none of this makes sense. This is very suspicious, and this is coming after we've seen multiple explosions happening. All right, I just wanted to recap really quick because we've been talking about all these train derailments and explosions and toxic chemicals. But really quick, this happened last month and it was completely swept under the rug. This was in Illinois, right outside of Chicago, and more than 1 million pounds of chemicals were exploded and released into the atmosphere and leaked into the ground at this massive chemical plant. And the EPA says, once again, no health risk, no health risk. No problems, no worries. It's just insane. They just lie to us constantly. The EPA has all of these insane regulations, but they will lie to your face and say, hey, your water's good, the air's good, your house good. This chemical plant, the cars, it was eating paint off of the cars and oxidizing the cars and turning them green because it was oxidizing the metal on people's cars in real time. It was raining down oxidants and chemicals onto people's, just onto people, but you could see it on the car because cars are made of metal, and it was oxidizing them in real time. So something's happening, guys. We need to get prepared for a major biological or chemical event. We need to get prepared for a major biological or chemical event. This is going to happen very soon. They're preparing us, and it seems like they're trying to engineer something. So this was the emergency order that was sent out in Arizona. It says hazmat release. I-10 between Kolb and Rita Road. Individuals within 1 mile radius should shelter in place. Turn off heaters, air conditioning units that bring in outside air. Travelers should avoid Interstate 10 and seek alternative routes. They are having shelter in place situations, which honestly, it's like, it doesn't even make sense to shelter in place. You need to get out. You need to evacuate. You need to get away from these chemicals. The government just, they do things that will cause the least amount of panic. All right, that's what they always do. That's why a lot of things are always swept on the rug. That's why you probably didn't even hear this unless you're a regular listener of my channel and you watch every video. You might not even have heard of this. All right, this happened last month, and this is happening again here. And the chemical that was being transported here, you can see here, a shelter in place issue was ordered because of a nitric acid spill. Nitric acid is very corrosive and very reactive to metals and very explosive, and it's actually used, I believe, to create nitroglycerin and dynamite. So, and it should normally be transported on rail cars or tank trucks. So you can see here, nitric acid is typically loaded into rail cars or tank trucks via boom-supported stainless steel loading arms or chemical hoses with flanged end connections. All right, so this is how it's normally transported, and this is how it's being transported. Just in a normal semi-truck, something's going on. All right, something's happening. It should be in a tank truck, all right, that hauls fuel. All right, you don't just see a truck like this hauling fuel or gasoline or anything explosive or corrosive, because they need to be in these safe tank trucks, or it's loaded into rail cars, which we've seen are also very suspicious. There's something going on with them too. And you can see here, nitric acid reacts violently or explosively with most metals and powdered metals. All right, and it has a whole list of them. And it is also used to create nitroglycerin. So this is happening right now. Why was this truck being why were these chemicals being transported in this truck that is not supposed to be transporting nitric acid? It seems very suspicious. Was this a setup? And it's very explosive. Were they trying to cause a massive explosion outside of Tucson, Arizona, We've seen all of these other incidents that we have to just question at this point. All right, we have to be wondering what's going on. They always tell us it's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, just close your air vents. All right, turn off your heaters and air conditioning units that bring in outside air. Just it's fine. Just sit there. That's what they're telling people in Illinois. They're like, my house stinks. I'm feeling kind of weird, lightheaded from breathing this stuff in. And they were just telling people, oh, just close the doors, just close the windows, turn off your AC, just put your AC on circulate, like in your car or whatever, and you're good to go. All right, and don't worry about it. This is what's going to happen. The government is going to say whatever it takes to cover up and to make people not panic in situations like this, because they could also get sued as well, right? The government has a lot of regulation over these toxic chemicals being transported, and they could potentially be sued for allowing these chemicals to be transported in these obscure vehicles that aren't even supposed to be I mean, you can see right here for your face, in front of your face, that it is not transported in a normal semi-tractor trailer, and that's what is happening right now, and this is very explosive, and they could be liable, so they're not going to say, hey, we messed up here. They're going to try to downplay it as much as possible. The EPA does not want to get sued, and they are going to just brush it off, right? And it's one of these things, we need to get prepared for a chemical or biological attack. I really think like a lot of this stuff is coming out and being brought to mainstream news because they are warning us, all right? It's like this effect I was talking about yesterday, if you didn't see my video. They warn us, they tell us what's coming next. And even a congressman came out last week when all of this balloon stuff was happening. He was saying that these balloons could have a biological weapon in them. Why would they be saying all this crazy rhetoric? What happened last week with this balloon stuff? What was all this rhetoric that was being put out? We were being warned of EMPs. We were being warned of China invading our airspace. We were being warned of bioweapons. All of this rhetoric was coming out at once, and it seems like they're trying to get us ready for something big. And what if they engineer a massive chemical or biological disaster? All right, if you didn't see my video yesterday, go check out that video. All right, there's 30 million people that are at risk right now, multiple states, over 6 states, all right, that's conservative, that are also facing a massive disaster right now, all right? And you can see here, this is backing up traffic all the way to Palo Verde in Arizona, which is near Phoenix, and it's over 2 hours away, right? This is over 100 miles away. It's like 150 miles, and the traffic is still backed up on I-10. That is one of the worst feelings, miserable. 150 miles, 150 mile car backup. I'm getting chills. I've just traveled so much in my RV and been in situations like this so much where it's devastating. You're traveling and it has effects on supply chain as well. What if this truck did explode and it destroyed a massive chunk of I-10 and the road was just shut down for weeks while they repaired it? All right, we don't know really what's happening. Who had access to nitric acid and was able to put it in a truck like this? I just don't understand. This seems like a chemical that should be highly regulated. There's tons of chemicals that can't be driven on railways, and for some reason this was just allowed in a normal semi. So once it crashes, it can just spill all over and leak all over. And these chemical spills, these accidents are super important, but there's something that's happening every day too that we don't even realize. The skies are being sprayed with foreign chemicals as well. All right, one of the chemicals they admit is sulfur dioxide. All right, and sulfur dioxide is literally the base for creating acid rain. It reacts with carbon and water in the atmosphere, and it creates acid rain. Right, so we are constantly being sprayed with foreign chemicals. There's constantly foreign chemicals in our water supply, breathing them in. All right, there's all of these toxins in our food supply. That's why you need to have water filters, need to have air filters, carbon filters, HEPA filters. You can get HEPA filters to put on your AC system, like right on your filter. You know how you change your filter for your AC system? You can get HEPA filters so the air in your house is cleaned if you're ever in a situation like this. I used to have those in my house because I used to live near heavily sprayed orange groves. All right, they were constantly being sprayed, so I had air filters and I had a carbon filter in my room as well to just pick up excess toxins and particulate in the air. Same thing for water. You should have some kind of water filtration system, even just a Life straw or a Sawyer mini straw or a Big Berkey water filter. All right, all these things could save your life in this situation, and you never know what these chemicals could do that are released into your water supply. This could affect your home values, property values. I mean, think of these people in Illinois. Their homes are probably ruined, right? The EPA is saying, hey, it's no big deal. But as soon as somebody figures out there was 1,000,000 pounds of chemicals dumped in the ground right down the road from here, they're going to be like, all right, I might pass. It's like buying a house under power lines or something. It's like somebody might buy it, but I've noticed a lot of houses are devalued. Just looking at houses online, it's like, why is this house so cheap? There's massive power lines going right over it, or it's right in the backyard or something like that. It devalues your house, devalues your property as well. All right, not even just the health effects, it's economic effects on you and your family. And a lot of people, they can't even leave. They can't leave the situation. They are stuck. They have to go to work tomorrow. All right, they can't go anywhere. They can't afford to like go get a hotel or go somewhere else or whatever. They just have to sit there and be poisoned and breathe this in and have their family breathe this in. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. This is very suspicious circumstances that this is happening, this crash, and you never know. We could see chemical, biological attacks escalating. So thank you guys so much. Hit that like, hit that sub, hit that bell if you want to get notified for my videos, and hit that big old blessed day. Thank you guys.